Hi, Kevin MacDonald here, and I'm really excited about the episode today because I'm interviewing two really special people all the way from Sweden, Nana and Emelie Precy, who have come to the UK in 2019 to learn about all things property, and they are literally taking over the country. Let's get straight into it. Hi, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
For everyone who's listening in, who is Nana and Emelie? Where do you live? And why UK property?
At the moment, we live in Sweden, in Gothenburg, on the west coast of Sweden. We will be moving to Spain in the next few months and try that out. And keep doing property in the UK from Spain, of course. And how we came to do property in the UK. Well, it's really hard to do it in Sweden, start out as a private investor here. So that's why we looked at other markets instead. And Nana was a big fan of the US market when we were there. And I thought it was too far away, and the time difference and everything like that. And then we figured, let's see what the UK has to offer.
Okay, so what is it that's so difficult about the Swedish market? What's different in Sweden to the UK?
So in Sweden, first of all, there's no free market. So like, let's say if you put out the house for a tenant, they will then, like, there's a cap on it. So it's a bit like Scotland. And then obviously the banks there don't see property investment as an investment. They see it as a risk. So you won't get lending if you don't have like a lot of money. So you get like maybe loan to value of 50%. So you need to have a lot of money when doing stuff over there. You can't be doing rent to rent like you can do in the UK or in England.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah, you can't do anything. It's too much laws.
Yeah, it's a lot of regulations,
Yeah.
and the finance option is very poor.
Yeah.
Now, for anyone listening to this, that maybe are not property people, they're probably thinking, "Oh, this is great. These are the laws we should have in the UK." It must mean that house prices are really cheap. So, is it more affordable for homeowners to buy houses in Sweden, or is it just as expensive as the UK, or even more expensive?
Yeah, more expensive, I would say.
Yeah, if you take out London, obviously.
Yeah.
If you remove London, it's more expensive here in Sweden than it's in the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
So is there still a lot of buy-to-let, or is it all like institutions then, or how does it all work?
Institutions.
Yeah, it's mostly big corporates.
Because the thing is as well, Kevin, let's say if you're a small-time investor like me and Emelie, and you like want to like have a small portfolio, it's not worth your while, because when you're going to pay the property manager, is like a wage of like £2,000-3,000 a month for like one house. So it won't make any money. While in the UK, you have the letting agent, they just take like 10-12%, depends, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So for anybody who's watching listening to the podcast or watching YouTube, and they see your interview and they think, oh, rent caps are great and get rid of all landlords and it'll mean affordable homes for the population. Actually, what it might actually mean, and be careful what you wish for, is that rather than get rid of all private landlords, you get rid of the little guy's opportunity to make a bit of extra money on the side. And what you actually do is you end up just having institutions running it instead of providing more homes for people who need homes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, like, they do a rental review every year, and they try to put the rents up, and then they have a discussion with the different
it's like a union.
Yeah, like a union.
Right.
So that protects the rental, like the tenants. And like for this year, for example, they wanted to raise the rent with 15%. So if they were to do, like you say, take away everything and all of the private people and just do institutions, then we give all the powers to the institution as well.
Right. So really bad idea for anybody listening.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. But to give a perspective, when big investors here, for example, this is actually Nana's story to tell because he met them. I haven't. But when he's been on different networking events and met these people that doing really big stuff, and then we're talking thousands and thousands of units, they say that it's no need to go into something unless you're doing thousands and thousands of units here in Sweden. And they're looking like a return of how many percent?
3 or 4%
Wow.
ROI.
Wow.
So if you compare it to UK market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the UK is a great place to invest compared to Sweden.
Yeah, it's a lovely place.
Yeah, we think so.
Everybody in England is trying to get out, and you're like, it's a lovely place. That's why I say to people, be careful what you wish for. Yes.
Yeah.
So what made you, obviously you said you went to America to look at potentially investing in America, then you looked at England as well, and you chose England because it was closer more than anything else?
Closer, and it was like mini US, like everything that you can do in the US, basically, you can do it in the UK.
Yeah.
So like for us, it was a no-brainer. It's like 1.5 hours flight to London, and to Manchester is like 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, so it's close. So why not do it?
Okay, so when did you originally come over to the UK to look at property?
2019.
2019.
Yeah, 2019, yeah.
What year was it that you met me at Progressive?
2019.
Same year.
Emily, when you said you need to go back and go to the back, she ran. I've never seen her running so fast.
I was one of those, like, let's do that one. That one I want to do.
10X. That's where we met you, Kevin, first time.
Excellent. The super conference, yeah, with Grant Cardone and everybody, right? Awesome. So you obviously then came to Peterborough, you did some training, you went looking at property. What have you done since? What deals have you done? What type of deals have you done? Where in the UK? Because I mentioned England, but actually they're not all in England. They're more UK than England, are they?
No, it's actually England now.
Now they're just in England.
Yeah.
Before they were also in Wales.
Right.
Yeah.
So what have you got? Where are they? And yeah, I guess what type of strategies are you using?
So we actually counted it when we came in the car how many we have. So we have 16 rent-to-rents, and then we have 2 lease options, where one of them is a block of flats, and then we have 1 normal purchase buy-to-let. And then in legals now we have 1 13 beds HMO that we're gonna turn into 12 beds, and then 1 commercial former dentist that we're gonna turn into 6-bed HMO. So
and where are they?
So they're scattered.
Since we're not based in the UK, we figure like, let's look at if the deal works instead of because when we go over, we can go wherever we want to go either way.
Yeah.
So we figure we don't need to be in one place. We can be wherever the
deal is.
The deal is good.
Yeah.
So as long as it's near an airport, right?
Yeah, and then drive station that we can rent a rental car.
Yeah.
But so the majority of the rent-to-rents are in the south. So we have 1.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them are in the south. Yeah, that's true. So 10 flats in High Wycombe, and then we have 3 deals in 2 in Southampton and 1 in Portsmouth. 1 HMO there in Portsmouth. And then we have 2 in Reading, that's essays. And then the lease options are in the northeast. So 1 in Newcastle, and then 1 in South Sunderland. And then our normal purchase buy-to-let is in Leeds. And then the 2 deals that we're working on now, 1 is outside of Newcastle, South Shields. And the other one, the 6 beds, is in Darlington.
Wow, you really are taking over the UK. I mean, you're gone from one coast to the other. At least you get lots of varied holidays when you get here. High Wycombe, Southampton, Portsmouth, Newcastle, Darlington. Whoa. So, how do you find these deals remotely? For many people, obviously if you're in the UK, it's great to keep your properties together, but I kind of get your idea that if you're going to fly in, you can fly into an airport and just go whichever property you want to go see if you come over. But I guess how managing them, how do you get them managed on the ground and looked after remotely? How often do you actually have to come and look at them? And how do you find them? So it's 3 questions in one there. Take them whatever order you like.
Nana would love to go like every week if
Yeah.
he could, but I'm keeping him at home a little bit as well. But if he could, he would go every week. He just blame it on what I'm have to look at one of the properties so he could go over. But we don't need to go over that often, actually. But I think that's because we built a solid network when, like 2019, we went over a lot.
Yeah.
And we built a lot of connections. And I think that helped us to be able to be in different places.
Yeah.
Actually, you feel
So yeah, so the rent to rents, what we do is I remember when we did the no money down, we actually won the prize that you always give. So we won that prize, the social media thing. So we started out doing it on our own company name, but we saw that the management team, they didn't have like the same spark because they got paid anyway.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we need to switch this up and thinking about an idea how we can do it. So we were like, okay, if we do JVs with the partner instead, let's say if they find a deal, we come with the finance, then we know that they want to make it work. Otherwise, and especially when it's on their name as well, because if they make it doesn't work, then it's their name that's gonna burn the bridges. So that's how we've done. So now we have 4 partners that we do the rent to rents with, and I think it's fun because you get relationship as well, and we all strive towards the same thing. More cash flow, and then some of them have stopped after doing some of the deals because they're now starting to purchase, but some of them are still continue. And like I said to Emelie and to them as well, you never know, we maybe will purchase property together in the future. So it's a good entry level doing the rent to rents.
And that's really smart from you guys.
It's a win-win situation as well.
Yeah, it's really smart to do that because, like you said, if you just find a property and give it to somebody to look after for you, they don't really care about it. But if you do it with a partner, they've a vested interest. So, and it's their time. I guess it's their time on the ground to find the deal, manage the deal, ensure it's tenanted, and then you put some funds in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other lease option, etc. We have obviously letting agents for that. So that's just straightforward. But yes, so one property. We're going through our refinance. We haven't seen it, never seen it before, but it's coming in money every month. So I guess it's working.
What? It's bringing. I've never seen it. It's bringing in money, so I guess it's working. What would you say to people who are sort of sitting at home saying, "Oh, it's difficult to find deals. There's no deals in my area. It looks like you're doing deals in their area." So. If you can do this remotely, can anybody do it if they wish to do it on the ground when they're in their own area?
Yes.
Everybody can do it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're remote or not remote, but if I said a lot of times during these past 5 years to Nana, like, let's just move over to UK for 6 months and just do a lot of deals. And then we go to Spain. But then COVID happened and all of this stuff. So we didn't go anywhere at all. And we figured it out anyway. So now we feel like we don't need to go over. We can do it remotely.
Yeah.
So definitely if they live there, there's no excuses really.
Yeah.
You just need to find the correct deals.
Exactly. So you're moving from Sweden to Spain. Why don't you move from Sweden to the UK? Or why Spain?
Because of the sun. The UK still doesn't have the sun.
If UK had the sun, we will move directly because the people in the UK, we love the people in the UK. You're amazing. Like it's so easy. Everyone is happy, even if they're not happy. But compared to Swedes, you're more friendly people.
Yeah. Here, everybody is in
So
their own lane. pretty
yeah,
much.
it's
Nobody
just the
talks.
sun. If you had the sun,
Yeah.
we will definitely go there.
Well, with global warming, it'll probably come. So
Yeah. Then will come.
Yeah.
Then will come.
Um, you mentioned about the network and the people.
Yeah.
Outside of the training, how important has obviously it's clearly important, but in what way has the connections and the people you've met been, influential in your journey?
That's number one. That's like without the network, we wouldn't be here where we are today.
No.
Obviously, all of the connections that we made, and some of them have turned out to become friends now. So like some of them was on our wedding, and it's just amazing. People think property is about like finding the deals and etc. But in general, it's about the network that you have. If you have the network, I mean,
Yeah.
we're negotiating about a deal now that's off market, and our letting agent came with it, and it's a 20 beds HMO, and we're gonna get it for 300, but it's worth like maybe 700 or something. So this landlord, he just wants to go out, and if we didn't have that network, we wouldn't never have gotten that deal. So it's
Yeah.
second to none.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I know they say that a lot, like network is your network, but it really is. Like, that's how you asked about how we find deals. That's how we find deals. We talk to people all the time, talk to people. That's how you are able to build connections and make they remember you. So when it comes to deal that they see, they will think of you and they will ask you, oh, is this something that you're looking for? Then, of course, if you're doing it remotely like we do, we have to calculate the cost of somebody finding the deal for us.
Yeah.
Of course. That's
it
how it
literally
is.
Yeah, a people business.
Yeah. People business.
What's next? You've done loads. Building what you've built remotely is amazing. But are you going to scale back? Are you looking to scale up? What's next? What's the future?
So
we get on way up.
Oh yeah, it's only one way up, Kevin. We're getting a lot of investors. Like the last 2 years, we got a lot of investors. So that's have enabled us to start purchasing properties and etc. while we're doing the rent-to-rents at the side as well. So I think we're just gonna keep on doing like bigger like HMOs and blocks of flats and etc.
Yeah.
But we're still scared about doing like development like Mark Homer, etc. We're just gonna do the basic, but a little bit more units.
Yeah.
It's true. So sometimes slow and steady, there's a saying, slow and steady wins the race. And you can do lots of small deals or one big deal. And like lots of small deals, if one goes wrong, you might only lose $5,000 or not lose anything, but not make anything. But if you get the big deal wrong, you could lose everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I like the approach of just boring is best, is a saying I have. Keep it simple.
And we still hear you in the back of our head from the training when you said like you can take the rent and turn it into something that you buy. So you had rental income from the rent to rent, but then you actually own the cow as well that makes the milk. So that's sort of what we've been doing since we started with rent to rent.
Yeah.
We have rent to rents, but we're focusing on buying.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned about finding investors. So are you finding investors in the UK, or are you finding investors in Sweden, or is it a bit of both?
Now it's both, actually.
Yeah.
So we got our first UK investor 3 months ago, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Gave us 100 grand, and it was like, yeah, I've been following your journey, etc. And we like that you're so transparent and blah blah blah. So here you have 100 grand, and I have more coming in, just so you know. But otherwise, all of our investors are from Sweden.
Yeah.
So, but it's quite funny that like people from the UK now as well invest with us.
For people who say, it's impossible to raise money, or it's difficult, I can't find the money. What tips would you give people in terms of trying to raise money or get moving by raising money?
So I would say network, like everything, network, go let people know what you're doing, what you want to do, and just stay in your lane all the time. Because the thing that I see when people are complaining that they're not getting investment or whatever is that, let's say they start property and then in 5 months time crypto is it's in, then they start posting about crypto, and then 5 months in later they're posting about their social media manager or whatever, so people remember that they're just watching. We have some investors that came like 3 years in because they were like just looking, okay, are they still doing property, and then boom,
And we still have people
watching.
writing us today and saying, "Oh, I've been following you for the last 4 years."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, okay, we didn't even know you existed, but nice.
Yeah.
What do you think?" So I
For-
mean, they really need to stay in their lane.
Yeah,
And
consistent.
yeah, consistency is the key.
For anybody listening in or watching that wants to start watching you, how can they find you? So where do they go?
Oof. Social media.
Spain. No.
Spain, of course. Yes.
Where on social media?
So on Facebook, it's miracle underscore along the line properties underscore Ltd, and that's the same on Instagram and on Facebook, and then our website obviously and YouTube channel is the same name.
And I guess if they're want to meet you in person, they just got to hang out at any UK airport, and you're likely to land at one of them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So we can meet people as well.
Yeah, we can.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
What we'll do is we'll put some details in the comments if anybody wants to check out the podcast description and whatever it's called, and we'll put some details in there if people want to follow you and click on your Instagram and stuff. So then keep an eye on the journey and see which town you go to next. Coming to a town near you in the near future. So, are you going to invest in Spain, or have you looked at the Spanish market?
Yes.
I have looked at it actually, but now they're also changing a lot of the tourist, because it's a lot of tourist rentals there, right? And they're changing the rules a lot for it. So we will see. We will keep it on the low for a little bit and see how it develops.
What part of Spain are you moving to? Have you decided?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes outside of Torrevieja.
So it's outside of Alicante.
Okay.
He don't know Torrevieja.
Why not?
Do you know Torrevieja?
There's a lot of English people there.
He said,
Not
no.
a clue.
There's a lot of English people there.
But Alicante, you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
So it's like 40 minutes from Alicante. It's a big, like Alicante is the big city, the airport.
So anybody listening, you want a holiday in Spain, and Nana and Emelie have promised they'll put you up. Just have to reach out to them and you get a free Spanish holiday as a thank you for listening to the podcast. So long as you discuss property.
We're quite not yet there.
What would you say to people who are either living abroad and listening to the podcast from a foreign country and thinking, can they make property investing work in the UK? What sort of steps should they take to try and make it work?
Get educated, I would say.
Yeah.
You got to get educated first if you don't live there, if you don't know the rules. That was like critical for us.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about the UK market. So that was the critical part for us. And then after that, I would say network.
Yeah.
You have to meet people that lives in the UK. And the easiest way to do that is to go over. And a good way to meet people that are interested in property is on the education. You just need to be able to be a little bit of a people person so you can figure out who actually there and will keep going for it, and who might do like Nana said and jump on the next thing in 2 months' time.
Yeah. So who are the go-getters and the doers, and who are the wishful thinkers?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and I will add to that, even if you're in the UK or not in the UK, you need to get educated, because like you can read a lot of books. You can like Google, you can use Chat GPT, whatever. But still, it's better if you get educated, because they have, if you go to the right education, obviously, they have the experience that you cannot fill in the book, because there's always some missing in the book. You cannot cover everything in a book or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And also on that note, like education and finding investors goes together as well, because you get educated, meet people, and you meet people that might invest because they don't want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And also when you get educated, you have a better way of doing deals. As soon as you start doing deals, the investors will see that.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to say that I'm in property because you want to be in property. It's another thing to actually do deals and show them this is what I've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's even rent to rent, because they see a property that you make money on.
Yes.
That's one of the big powerful things about rent to rent is a lot of people think they need to own property to attract investment, but actually all you need to do is, one of the big things for me when I started doing rent to rent in 2013 was that people reached out to me saying, I like what you're doing, I've got some funds, would you work with me? Because they seen we were doing deals.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter to them that we owned them or not. What mattered is we were a doer.
Yeah.
Have you found the same thing then?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think also it's for an investor, it's sort of a security for them to see that you actually have something that earns you money, because that means you can pay them back.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So I think that is one of the most important things. If you feel like I'm stuck, I can't get any investors, you have to figure out one way to get a deal, so you can show that you have a deal, you have money coming in every month into the company.
Awesome. So, we have been chatting for a while. You're moving to Spain. I noticed something at the start of the podcast when you arrived as well, that the family is growing. Is this true?
Yes.
Yeah. Show the belly. No.
When is the new recruit due?
In August.
In August. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say congrats on that as well. Everybody's going to be looking forward to seeing the new arrival. You got to get them online and show us the latest property investor to take over the UK as soon as it's with us in August. And we'll all do a celebration in Spain, because Nana and Emelie have also invited the whole of the UK to come to Spain for the arrival party. So that's all happening in August or September. They'll let us know in the chat when it happens. But make sure, if you want to hear more about Nana and Emelie and more about property investing in the UK or people doing it from abroad, make sure you like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and do not miss future episodes. You have been listening to Nana, Emelie and Kevin. You've been amazing. We'll see you next week.